warfare has never been this trippy. If you want to watch Cosmopolis, I would suggest you watch Waking Life first, because they're both movies that are essentially about a character having conversations with a bunch of people. From the trailer, I kind of got the impression there would be more to this movie than just that, but 90% of it is just talking. This main character, Eric Packer, played by Robert Pattinson, is driving around in his limo talking to people about a bunch of stuff like the economy, life, the world, universe, and everything. 90% of this movie is just talking. I mean, things happen out of the blue that may take you by surprise, but all in all, it's just a bunch of talking. On first viewing, I thought that Cosmopolis was way too pretentious, but I like philosophical movies in general. And the more I thought about Cosmopolis, the more I liked the idea of this movie, which I think actually means that I'm just supposed to read the book. Because the problem with Cosmopolis, unlike Waking Life, is that the conversations, while they have some good ideas in them, they don't actually make any sense. They don't go anywhere. The conversations in Waking Life felt like real talks between real people that just happen to talk about really smart shit. That smart shit is also in Cosmopolis, but it's delivered in such a depersonalized way and in such nonsensical fashion where a character says something and the character he's talking to replies with something that makes no sense. It's kind of like an absurdist play about consumerism, capitalism, the death of the spirit versus the material, blah 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 blah. And I like the idea of a movie about the dangers of over-commercializing your universe while at the same time making it deeply, deeply anti-commercial. And in that regard, I love the idea of using Robert Pattinson, who is the poster boy of the commodification of the movie experience, as your main protagonist. I heard people praise Robert Pattinson's performance in this. You know, good or bad, I felt that it came from a very real place inside Pattinson, which is the place where his hate of Twilight springs from. This is just me, but I always felt that nobody, like, regardless of your own feelings towards the Twilight franchise, there is not a person in this dimension that hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. That's the general feeling I get from his interviews, from his Comic-Con appearances. This guy cannot stand being part of this phenomenon. He hates it with the power of 1,000 British impotent sons. Impotent sons? Like, what the fuck? So yeah, Robert Pattinson throughout the entire movie is driving in his limo and he's driving away from the Twilight franchise. A lot of people had a problem with the end for Cosmopolis. Personally, I love the end because it was the only bit of the movie that I understand completely. At the end of it was like, yes! Yes! I understand that! I understand that! Thank you, oh gods of filmmaking! Because the end is all about the revenge of the disenfranchised. At the end, Eric Packer, who is like the bold, the beautiful, the rich, the powerful, meets his nemesis, who is the overweight, frustrated guy. And that frustrated individual is like, what, you think that people like me can't happen? I have to kill you, you have to die. And then Eric Packer, the rich person, is like, why do you hate me so much? You can't hate me because I'm rich. Everybody's 10 seconds away from being rich. See, I think that confrontation at the end is very meaningful. The problem is that the movie delivers these nuggets of inspiration in such a depersonalized way without any kind of emotional weight behind them that it actually doesn't give you any motivation to do anything about your sorry lot in life as, you know, the corporation's bitch. And you are a slave of the corporations if you're watching this on a computer or on a mobile phone or especially on an iPad. Chill out, Apple fans, I'm only kidding. Overall, I think it's a shame that David Cronenberg didn't put a bit more effort into making this movie more audience-friendly, because I think it is important to make movies about the soul-sucking experience of living in a consumerist society. And not that I'm a socialist or anything, but hey, we just saw last week the launch of the iPhone 5, and I think it's safe to say, and it should be obvious to say, and I don't think I actually need to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, we do live in a society that places way too much emphasis on material possessions.